Piatt. I'm one of the counselors here, and I'm presenting with two of our seniors who have just gone through this whole stuff, so they'll let us know. This is Aris, and this is Rachael Stone. And they're currently celebrating their acceptances to their colleges, so I hope that they can share some of their expertise tonight. We'll be talking to you guys about the college search process. Because the goal between now and the fall is when the applications really begin. So the goal between now and then is to sort of figure out where you want to apply to and where your students want to apply to. So we have some tools to make that process a little easier because it's a pretty daunting process. Okay, so like I just said, the application process begins fall of senior year. And students always will come to guidance and say, well, how many schools should I apply to? What's the magic number? And there is no magic number. Typically, I can tell you, though, students apply anywhere between 4 and 7 schools. We have some students who apply to like 1 or 2. We have some students who apply to more, but just on the norm, that's sort of where most students are at. So just to give you an idea. But the big thing is to make sure that your students are applying to schools that are sort of a good match for them in terms of admissions requirements. Because we all want to make sure that we're, people talk about safety schools and reach schools and that sort of thing, but we want to make sure if our student is really, keen on going to college that they apply to some safety schools that they meet the admissions criteria for. And when I say admissions criteria, I mean in terms of GPA, because colleges have expectations, and then SAT and ACT scores and different things like that. And I'll give you some resources tonight on how to look into those sort of requirements. And some other things to consider too are like the majors that colleges offer. If you want to pursue, say, business management, most colleges offer that. That's a pretty common major. But then you have some sort of niche majors, like maybe bioengineering or, different things. So you want to make sure that the college is offering that major. Some other things to think about is distance from home. Some students, they want to get out of the area. They want to leave. Other students want to stay in the area. So that's a factor to consider in your search, too. Scholarships, most schools offer them. Still something to think about. And then cost is one of the last things, but that kind of ties in with scholarships because, as Ms. Plenty said in our last presentation, in-state and out-of-state schools have different costs. Private schools are the same across the board, whether you're in Maryland here or if you go to Pennsylvania, whatever the case may be. But if it's a state school, if you go out-of-state, you're going to be paying a significantly higher cost than staying in-state. And then the other thing to consider in your search is the types of schools. Public schools, private schools, religious affiliation, the list goes on and on. So it's really just sort of up to you and your family and your student to figure out what exactly they want in that college and then sort of narrow down the search. So some of the things we're going to talk about tonight to help you guys in your search and figure out what you want to do are some websites. College Board, which Hannah will talk about, which is an amazing website. And then these are all free resources as well, so it's even better. And then there's CapX, another great website that has a scholarship component as well as a college search component. And then individual college websites, which Rachel's going to talk to us about. And then we're going to talk a little bit about college visits. And there were some handouts on the back table, too. If everyone hasn't gotten a chance to grab, be sure to grab those on the way out because it'll help you remember all this stuff because I know it's a lot to load on you in one night. So Hannah, you want to talk to us about College Board?
Okay, so College Board, I've used it pretty much every year of high school. It is completely amazing and I highly recommend it.
I don't know how to do it.
It's good.
There we go. Okay.
Okay, so if you've ever taken the PSAT, which I hope you have, you had to sign up and get your results and look over your scores through this website. And this website is completely amazing because it can give you help for AP tests, for SAT. Oh gosh. Oh no. Hold on. It's off. Yeah. Okay. It can give you help for SAT. It'll let you sign up. You have to sign up through this website. It'll give you your scores and tell you when they're available. It'll give you practice for every single section, including the writing section, which has an essay now. It'll give you sample essays. And it has a question of the day that is exactly what you'll see on the test. So one of the biggest things that I've ever used this website for was for my college search. It is amazing because you can put in every single thing that you want in a school, and it'll give you the things that match up to it. So for instance, for my SAT scores, it was a must-have because I can't say that I got 2,400 when I didn't. So I had to put in my scores and see what schools would accept me. And then I said a four-year school. I wanted it to be public, so that means that if it's not public, it won't be crossed off the list, like if I had said must-have, but it won't be the top of the list. And I said co-ed, location, campus and housing, so like rural or suburban versus urban. and then freshman housing. My majors, I knew what I wanted to do, or I had a couple choices to choose from. So I mean, just be as specific as you can. And I also said that I wanted there to be like a study abroad option or a co-op option, which is pretty much when you are an intern but you're paid at a company that focuses on what your major is, and you miss a semester of school, but they like work it in around your studies, and you get paid for it, and then you get to have job experience once you get out of college. So that's really awesome. And then my sports and activities, I said, cost, I said, and diversity, I said. And then it'll give you all your results, and you can sort it by a list, or you can sort it by a map. And
Can you
see
show
where
us what a specific college looks like too, Hannah?
Yeah.
Like if you click on their profile.
So I'll show you the University of Virginia. Rachel applied there. University of Virginia, it'll tell you like a little blurb about the school, a picture of it sometimes. It'll give you the website to the school. It tells you the application deadline, size, how many people usually graduate, financial aid, and then the costs in and out of state, type of schools, like if it's accredited. It gives you a map, and then it can give you directions and find other schools nearby or similar schools. And on the side, it shows you like what it matched to your wants, and it has to match all of your must-haves in order for it to be on the list. And it'll also give you tips on like campus life, like what's it like, different stats about the school, applying, paying, a bunch of great resources that I highly recommend that you use. So,
And it's free,
yes.
which is even better. So, and your students, if they haven't already taken the SAT, they can log online in their same profile and save things too, so they can access them later, which is great. If you start searching and get overwhelmed, you can come back to it later and sort of leave off where you were. So is that all you have to say with the College Board? Good to go?
Yeah.
Okay. So the next website is CapX, which is very similar. How do I get out of this? Escape. Okay. So if we log over to CapX, and I didn't actually log in, but it works very similarly. You log online, and then there's different information. It's capx.com. It's also on your handouts. I think it's on the green one. So if you click on this and click on the search button, and then there's scholarships over on the left here, and you can look on there too. But on the search button, you would log in and create a profile. It would give you information about, the list of schools that met your criteria, what you were looking for. And the thing that I really like about CapX is it has this like decision estimator tool, I think they call it, and it compares you to students that have been accepted there, and there's a graphic chart that sort of shows you where you fall. So it's a good idea just to get a feel for where you're at for those admissions criteria to make sure you're picking out realistic choices. So CapX is fantastic too, and a lot of the same things are what Hannah was talking about with College Board. They're very similar. So, and this is really good for a student who really doesn't know where they want to go to college. It'll give them that jumping off point.
You don't have to.
So,
Oh, it's okay. Oh, that was yours.
you want to go back to PowerPoint?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no, you okay. That's first.
We'll move to the next one then. So now Rachel's going to talk to us about college websites and how they can be useful.
Here. You can, wait. Hold on. Okay, so you can escape. Because
We're not too good with the smart board.
it's sort of a back and forth thing.
Okay,
So a lot of you guys know that, University of Maryland, in-state tuition, good cost. That's what my dad always tells me. There's a lot that goes on in the school web pages that, you can check out. They have their news, they have their, Discover, they have everything that you need basically on their school website. Most importantly to me was definitely their academics. Yeah. Is there like let's do colleges and schools. So a lot of them, you go to their college and schools, they'll give you a list, which is kind of hard to see here. But some, they have, it's usually when schools do it, they do it by freshmen to graduates, so undergrad, graduate schools. You can look up your major, you can look up which colleges you can go into, and that really helped me because I knew what I wanted to go into, so a lot of the schools that I looked up, I was like, okay, this is what it has to have. So I went on the college websites and I made sure that they had that. Next too was admissions, which is a big one. That's usually more towards your fall of your senior year when you're starting to apply. They have like a whole page dedicated to applying, enrolling, visits, everything. And then, no, can you go to Explore Campus real quick? And a lot of it is not just about, academics too. It's also about, your time in college. We all want to have like a good time, students-wise. We all want to learn. We all want to get a degree. And a lot came with it, not just to academics again, but also how am I going to live? Like, what kind of dorm am I going to be in? Is it going to be co-ed or is it not? Is it going to be stuffy? Is it how is the campus going to, how am I going to be living for the next, 6 months of my life to 4 years? And that was really important to me because some of the schools you'll visit and you'll be like, ooh, did I really want to go here? Do I really want to live in this kind of condition? Or I really like this. I really like this campus. And those were the biggest ones for me. So here's the Salisbury. So, they're all structured the same way when they have their school websites. They have their academics, their administration, admissions. Another big one is their athletics. A lot of people, I see a couple athletes in here that want to do athletics. I don't know if you want to do it in college. Another one is figuring out whether it's a Division I, Division II, or Division III school. If it is, you got to sign up with the NCAA, I believe it's called, and that's a separate application. So I think that is pretty much all.
And going off what Rachel was saying earlier about like what's the school like, a great way to do that and figure it out is not just by visiting the website, but also visiting the school. Because I know that when I went to visit schools, like looking at the website got me excited about it, but actually like seeing the school, seeing the students, seeing how everything interacted, that really shows you what a school is like. And I highly recommend that when you go, like maybe jot down some things that you like, take pictures of things that you really like, so that way like 6 months later when you're trying to decide between two schools that you really liked, you can look, oh, I really liked that about that school, or whatever it is. And once you're there, try to get involved, like maybe eat at a cafe, see if you like the food.
Always.
Yeah. And then like see what clubs they offer, and anything that you can get involved in, anything that interests you, make sure that there's going to be something about that school that you really love.
Also, when you're done with your, initial visits, and you go and you apply, and then you're done, and you get all your acceptance letters, and you're still like, wait, I can't really remember the school, or oh, I haven't visited even though I've gotten acceptance. You could still go back to visit, in March of your spring of your senior year, because they offer orientations, open houses, everything to, try and drag you in, to try and make it so that you'll go to their school, but you also get to learn more. So.
And then to keep track of everything, in the back, there's a little white sheet that says like a sort of visit scorecard, just to keep track of things and keep things organized, which is sometimes can be very useful. So, and I also found this online, just saying that college visits are the most influential thing in helping students choose. Because I always tell students, when you're looking at websites and you're doing things, they're trying to sell things to you. So they're going to show you the best dorms. They're going to show you the best aspects of campus online, because it really is like a sales pitch. So go there and really eat the food and do some research, walk around campus, that sort of thing. And I always recommend to students, rather than visiting over the summer, although it's very convenient, the campus doesn't look the same as it does throughout the regular academic year. So maybe taking a day in the spring, to visit and sort of see what things are really like. That's one thing that I would recommend. So I know we're running sort of low on time, so to wrap everything up, just to kind of keep everything organized, I provided in the back, there's a little chart there in blue just to keep track of, application deadlines, that sort of thing, all the things that go along with the college searches. And feel free to contact your child's school counselor. That's what we're here for, to help. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, give us a call, have your student come and see us. We can help them sort this stuff out and get started. Because the earlier you start, the easier the fall will roll through with the applications. And then if you have questions about specific colleges, as counselors, we're semi-familiar with all colleges, but if you have specific questions, feel free to contact the admissions representatives at that college. They have all sorts of information that they would be more than happy to provide you with. And then the goal again is to be set to apply to colleges in September. So does anybody have any dying questions that they want to ask now? Because I know we're sort of running low to switch to a different presentation, but does anybody have anything now that they would like to ask? No? Okay, well I will be available after the presentation tonight, after all the presentations have finished. So if you guys haven't grabbed handouts, feel free to grab one off the back table. There's also the financial aid handouts. I put a pile back there if you didn't get a chance to grab one from the cafeteria. So you guys will be going next to room 205, which is if you come out this door and you hang a right, it'll be right down there. Thank you very much.